Hey hosts, I am checking in with you on Tuesday. It's tips and tricks today. So I wanted to jump in and give you some more information than I've already shared and talk about my welcome process and my welcome booklet for when I have new au pairs start. So I've been meaning to do this for a few weeks now, but I have been sick. So I'm going to give it a go today, see how I go. Hopefully there's no coughing and spluttering. But so this is the book that I'm wanting to talk to you today about and the way that I sort of do it. So there were a couple of, well, there was a video that I did a few weeks ago where I actually shared with you my, I guess it was a welcome booklet as well. But it was the one that I leave in the au pair's room, and it's all about loving and nurturing them and welcoming them and helping them settle in. Whereas this one is more about their welcome week when it comes to them actually getting into the role of au pairing. So basically, I have my first little intro, which is just about wanting them to settle in. And once we sort of determine that they're good to go, then this is when we jump into this booklet. So basically what I have in here is an outline of their first week, and I have an orientation checklist, their assistance schedule, their task list. We talk about finances. I've got a list of like apps and groups and things like that for them to join. Talk about weekends, and then what to expect beyond the first week of training. So, week one, I just outline, depending on what sort of day they arrive, the things that we'll do. So, we'll go through the orientation, then we'll go through like the welcome pack and just check that they're all good, make sure that they understand everything that I've shared with them, go through any questions. Work through the tasks, and then I sort of scatter throughout the week depending how they go or how my daughter goes is, if we need to get to the bank and organise a bank account for them and do that sort of stuff. So I sort of schedule all that out and have a bit of a plan to work towards. It's very flexible and I adjust it as we need it. But I've got the baseline there, so we kind of have something to work with and work from. So there's kind of a bit of structure to it. My orientation checklist, this probably comes from my mining and training days where, coming into a new space, it's just about going through everything. So I like to have a checklist so that I don't miss anything out in showing them and making sure that they sort of feel like they've got a really good introduction to our home and where things are, and so I sort of keep, like, I put little tips and things in here if there's something specific I wanted to point out about, like the laundry routine or where keys are kept and things like that. So that is my orientation checklist. I also include in that list like going through their welcome pack with them. And I extend that as far as the local area as well. So I like to take her to the local playgrounds where she'll be spending some time with my daughter, and then the local shops, so what she can get to in riding and walking distance, where the bus stop is, train station, that sort of stuff as well. So I'm trying to make sure that I do all those things with each au pair. Assistance schedule, so I have that in there. That's just a blank version of my roster, I guess. So I'll have that for them so they know when their start and finish times are. And then I've got my task list. It's a fairly simple one. I don't know if you'll be able to see that very well, but basically the way I've laid that out is just kind of dot point tasks. So what they can do like in the mornings, the afternoons, if they are ever helping us in the evening, and then kind of ad hoc tasks. And then I sort of mark them on, is that something they do daily or once a week or just as required or requested. So that's kind of, and it's a really easy checkpoint for them to come back. So once we've gone through the first training week, then they've got this booklet they can refer back to once I'm like back into the swing of my days and, not kind of there holding their hand through that training process. They can be a bit more self-sufficient, proactive, and, but if you need to, you can put something like that up in the fridge or, corkboard or something like that you've got in the area. And then beyond all of the tasks, I have, I sort of have a little bit of notes there. So this is sort of my training stuff in relation to the tasks. So again, once I've gone through something with them, if they need to refer back to sort of information about how to do something or where something goes or whatever like that, there's just that little bit extra detail there that they can refer to if it helps them. Then when I talk about finances, if we need to, we sort of go to the local bank and sort that sort of stuff out. And also in relation to finances, I found this groovy little card. This is for, I'm in Australia, so this is Australia-based. So for our local post office, they have these really loadable load and go cards. So for $7, I purchased this. I can access it kind of like a bit of a credit card. I can put a little bit of money on there. So if our au pair's taking our daughter down to the shops and they're going to pick up a little bit of food for lunch or grab a drink or something like that, then rather than me having to give her cash and keep kind of track of that, I've just got, between $20 and $50 on that for the au pair, and they can use that, which is really nice and easy. And then I go through any apps and community groups and things like that that they might like to join that will help them whilst they're staying with us. So transport apps, whatever phone service provider that that their SIM card is with, and that's actually the post that I shared earlier today in the group. So I have had a Telstra SIM card, an Optus SIM card, and now they're using an Amazing SIM card. So whatever app comes with that, so that they can track it. I use a shared list for tracking things that we need to pick up when we go shopping. So I make sure that they get that and log into that so they can add things as they notice in the kitchen if we're needing something or whatever. And Facebook groups, things that they can join to meet other people, find out what sort of local events are on around, the shops or at the park or whatever like that. I also then go through our weekends with them, so they're more than welcome to join us. Our au pairs are generally more integrated family members than kind of, the more independent, adventurous people. So they're more than welcome to come with us, but if they go adventuring, I've just got a little bit of information there for them. And then sort of, setting them free a little bit more, and I just go through then what sort of, I guess, the expectations are once we've gone through that training week or training days, when they can sort of come to ask questions, or, generally my husband and I, we work from home, so they're always able to get access to us, but we can be doing things like this, recording videos and all sorts. So I sort of give them a bit of guidance on how to go forward from the training week and how they can sort of approach that if they have any questions and things like that. So that is pretty much. And I also have a note section. Anyway, so it's sort of fairly basic, but I keep all that stuff separate to my welcome booklet, so that everything about them when they arrive and they are in their room and they're reading through the material that I give them, that's all about welcoming them and nurturing them, and it's about, settling in, whereas this is just more related to them being an au pair and that side of stuff. So that's how I've kind of kept it a bit separate. Plus, I want to actually talk through with them everything in here. So I don't want them to be reading this on their own and misinterpreting anything. I'll emphasize what I want to emphasize, skip over stuff that's not a big deal, and I use that through me communicating with them one-on-one. Actually, another thing that I didn't point out about that is I also give them a local travel card in this process and our house keys. So that kind of goes along with that booklet. So I think that pretty much covers mostly my first kind of induction week, welcome week, training week, whatever we sort of want to call it. I hope that helps you, gives you some ideas on maybe the way that you can approach your welcome process with your neuro pairs. And yeah, if you like this video, please comment and share, of course. Until next time, happy hosting.